Let's talk some more about ratios and their applications. A ratio is a fraction used to compare two measured quantities whose units are the same type. So we could write ratios with words like 1 to 2, with a colon, which is still said 1 to 2, but there's a colon in between instead. Or we could write it as a fraction, still said 1 to 2, but with a fraction bar. On a university campus, the fall enrollment shows that the new freshman class of 321 women and 214 men. Write the ratio of men to women. So we want men to women. So there's a couple ways we could write this. We could write 214 to 321. Or we could write it 214 to 321. Or we could write it 214 over 321. Okay? We do want to reduce these when possible. All of these will reduce. It actually reduces perfectly to be 2 to 3. Equivalent ratios are ratios that express the same relationship. In the previous example, the ratio 214 to 321 was shown to be equivalent to the reduced ratio of 2 to 3 by dividing both numbers by 107. We could also say the ratio of 214 to 321 is equivalent to 428 to 642 by multiplying both numbers by 2. In fact, every ratio has an unlimited number of equivalent ratios that could be found by either multiplying or dividing both by the same number. According to Fortune's 2011 list of the top 40 under 40, the up-and-coming top 40 adults in America includes 15 women. Write the ratio of the number of women on the list to the total number of adults on the list in all three notations. So we want women to adults. So we could write 15 to 40. We could write 15 colon 40, or we could write 15 over 40. These would reduce if we divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 40 divided by 5 is 8. So all of these would be equivalent to 3 to 8. Part B says write the ratio of women to men. Well, we know that there are 15 women and 40 adults. So if we subtract off the 15 women, then we can find how many men there are. 25 men. So writing these as a ratio would be 15 to 25. 15 colon 25, or 15 over 25. We want to reduce these. 15 and 25 are both divisible by 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So we could write all of these as 3 to 5 also. Example 3 says, Table 1 shows a study by an online health journal claiming that although fish has long been a food of choice for helping to control heart disease, farm-raised tilapia might actually be dangerous to the heart. Omega fatty acids ratios in farm-raised tilapia actually give undesirable amounts of omega-6 acids. In farm-raised tilapia, the ratio of these potentially detrimental long-chain omega-6 fatty acids to the beneficial long-chain omega-3 fatty acids averaged about 11 to 1. Now, there's another reason that I'm not too crazy about farm-raised tilapia. Look it up sometime. I'll eat it occasionally, but not very often. So, here we've got some information about the omega-6 and the omega-3 acids, fatty acids, in each of these types of fish. And it's asking us, write a ratio for each so that they can be compared to the given ratio for the farm-raised tilapia. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Making sure. So the ratio would be for the omega-6 to the omega-3 would be 39 to 1509 for herring, 92 to 4657 for salmon, 239 to 3096 for sardines, 127 to 2557 for cod liver, and Manhattan is 159 to 3624. The issue with this is these ratios are all fine and dandy, but the tilapia is 11 to 1. We need to get each of these to where they say a number to 1. So how would we do that? Well, we need the number on the bottom or the number on the right to be 1. And to get the number on the right to be 1, 1509, we would have to divide the number on the right by 1509. So we'll also divide the number on the top by 1509. And that gives us 0.0258 to 1. We'll do the same thing with the next one. 4,657 divided by itself will give us 1. So we need to take 92 and divide by 4,657. Gives us 0.0198 to 1. And we continue doing this. We've got 3,096. We'll divide 239 by that and have 0.0772 to 1. Then for cod liver, we're looking at 2,557. We'll divide 127 by 2,557, and we get 0.0497 to 1. And then the last one, 3,624. So we'll divide 159 by that. 0.0439 to 1. Now this really helps us compare to tilapia. I think I spelled that wrong. Because tilapia's ratio is 11 to 1. All of these are much smaller, much smaller smaller than 1, smaller than 1/10. And yet tilapia's is 11-1. So we can see that there's a huge difference there that's making the tilapia more unhealthy. We can also use ratios with maps. Using the given map, answer the following questions. If the distance on the map between point A and B measures 3 inches, what is the actual distance between these points? Well, it says right down here that 1 inch is equal to 5 miles. So our ratio would be 1 inch to 5 miles. And we want to know how long would 3 inches be. So we would put inches on top of our proportion and miles on the bottom. So we've got a proportion 1 over 5 equals 3 over x. 1 times x is x. 3 times 5 is 15. Done. 15 miles is the distance between points A and B. If I'm ever going too fast, just pause the video. That's one of the little advantages of watching these on your own. If you wanted to take an 11-mile walk one day, what distance would that be on the map in inches? So again, 1 inch is 5 miles. And we're looking for inches this time. So x inches would be equal to 11 miles. And so we set it up. 1 over 5 equals x over 11. So 5 times x is 5x. 1 times 11 is 11. Divide both sides by 5. And x would be 2.2 inches. So the distance on the map would be 2 2/100 or 2/10, of an inch. Example 5 says, suppose we know that the distance from Chicago, Illinois to Albany, New York is 816 miles. On the map, the distance from Chicago to New York is 1.4 inches. Use this ratio to determine how far it is from Chicago to St. Louis, Missouri, if the distance on the map between those two cities is 1/2 inch. So we know that 816 miles is equivalent to 1.4 inches on the map. And we want to know how many miles is equivalent to 0.5 or 1/2 of an inch. So we've got our proportion here. Cross multiply. 1.4x equals 816 times 0.5 is 408. Divide both sides by 1.4. And x is 291.43 miles. Would be the distance from Chicago to St. Louis. Raw mixed nuts make a healthy and delicious snack. I like walnuts best. I don't know about you. An online store promises raw cashews, raw almonds, and raw Brazil nuts in a bag of mixed nuts. They go even further to say the ratio of the cashews, almonds, and Brazil nuts is 2 to 3 to 5 in that order in every bag. Suppose that there are 5 ounces of cashews in a bag. How many ounces of almonds and Brazil nuts will the bag have? So, as far as almonds is concerned, we've got cashews to almonds that was the first and second, is 2 to 3. So, if there's 5 ounces of cashews, we can find how many almonds there are. So we've got 2 cashews, we'll just call that C, for 3 almonds. And that would be 5 ounces of cashews for how many ounces of almonds? So we have our proportion 2/3 equals 5 over x. So 2x would be 15. 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So there's 7.5 ounces of almonds. Okay. And then what about cashews to the Brazil nuts? I don't want to write that all out. It takes too long. So that would be 2 to 5. Okay? So 2 cashews is equivalent to 5 Brazil nuts. And we've got 5 ounces of cashews. We want to know how many ounces of Brazil nuts there'll be. So 2 over 5 equals 5 over x. 2x equals 25. Divide by 2. 12.5 ounces of Brazil nuts. In a hardware store, bags of miscellaneous nails are sold at a discount price. If a bag contains 300 nails, if a bag containing 300 nails has a 4 to 5 to 6 ratio of nails in decreasing lengths, long, medium, and short, how many of each nail should the bag have? Okay. First of all, we need to know how many nails total, well, not total are in the bag, but what multiple there is anyway. And that would be 4 plus 5 plus 6. So we're looking at a total of 15 nails or some multiple thereof. There could be 15 in the bag, there could be 30, there could be 45, something like that. So long nails, let's use a different color. Their ratio is 4 to 15. The medium nails, their ratio is 5 to 15. And the short nails ratio is 6 to 15. There's a total of 300 nails in this particular bag. So let's find out how many long nails are in the bag. We would say 4 over 15 equals x over 300. Cross multiply. X, there would be 80 long nails. For the medium, we take 5 over 15 equals x over 300. Cross multiply. And there's 100 medium nails. And last, 6 over 15 equals x over 300. Cross multiply. And there's 120 short nails. And that concludes this section.